In 1977, we received a signal from space, 72 seconds long, 30 times louder than anything we'd ever detected. Then it just vanished. For 48 years, the WOW signal remained the greatest mystery in the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. Until July 2025, when we discovered something traveling through our solar system from the exact same region of space. They call it 3I Atlas, an interstellar object wrapped in massive hydrogen cloud. The same element that made the WOW signal impossible to ignore. Same location, same chemical signature, 48 years apart. NASA just redirected 7 spacecraft worth billions of dollars to study it. The data won't be released until 2026, and on December 19th, it makes its closest approach to Earth. This isn't coincidence, this is contact, and they're not telling us what they found. August 15th, 1977. The Big Ear radio telescope in Ohio was listening to the void, hoping to catch something, anything, that might suggest we're not alone. Dr. Jerry Amon was reviewing printout data a few days later when he saw something that made his hand freeze mid-coffee sip. A signal so strong, so impossibly perfect, that all he could do was grab a red pen and circle it, scribbling one word in the margin. Wow. The sequence read 6EQUJ5. To anyone else, gibberish. But to Amon, it was a scream from the cosmos. 72 seconds, 30 times louder than background noise. And then, silence. Never repeated. Not that night, not ever. But here's what made scientists lose sleep for the next 48 years. The frequency. 1420.4556 megahertz. The hydrogen line. The exact frequency hydrogen atoms naturally emit. Scientists call it the cosmic calling card because hydrogen is the most abundant element in the universe. If an alien civilization wanted to get our attention, this would be the frequency they'd use. And it was coming from Sagittarius, the direction of our galaxy's center, thick with stars. For nearly 5 decades, the WOW signal remained unsolved. Natural phenomenon, comets, satellites, all debunked. The Big Ear telescope was demolished in 1977. The signal was never detected again until July 1st, 2025. On that date, the Atlas telescope system in Chile picked up something odd moving through our solar system. At first, astronomers thought it might be an asteroid, maybe a distant comet. But within 48 hours, follow-up observations revealed something extraordinary. This object wasn't from here. They named it 3I Atlas, the third confirmed interstellar visitor ever detected passing through our solar system. The I stands for interstellar, a traveler from another star system. Now, discovering an interstellar object is rare enough. We've only confirmed 3 in human history. But 3I Atlas was different in ways that immediately caught NASA's attention. First, its speed. This thing was screaming through space at 130,000 miles per hour relative to our sun. That's almost twice as fast as the previous interstellar visitors, Oumuamua and Borisov. Its trajectory was so hyperbolic, so impossibly straight, the scientists knew instantly it couldn't have originated anywhere near our solar system. Second, its direction. Most interstellar objects should theoretically come from the north, from the direction our sun is traveling through the galaxy. That's basic astrophysics. But 3I Atlas came from the south, the exact opposite direction. Statistically, this shouldn't happen. One astronomer called it unexpected. Another one called it rare. But here's the third thing, the thing that should have been impossible. Its trajectory was perfectly aligned with our solar system's orbital plane. Not tilted, not skewed, perfectly flat, as if it knew exactly where it was going. Random interstellar objects don't do that. They tumble through space at chaotic angles. This object's path looked designed. And then there was the fourth thing. The thing that made NASA mobilize every available telescope to study this object. It was active. Within days of discovery, astronomers confirmed 3I Atlas wasn't just a dead rock drifting through the void. It had a coma, a massive cloud of gas and dust surrounding it, stretching over 200,000 miles across. The Hubble telescope photographed it. So did the James Webb Space Telescope. Mars orbiters caught images as it flew past the red planet. Even NASA's distant spacecraft, Psyche, European Clipper, and JUICE, were redirected to observe it. 7 spacecraft, billions of dollars in assets, all pointed at one object. What they found was stunning. 3I Atlas was wrapped in an enormous hydrogen cloud. Spectrography analysis showed it was spewing hydrogen-rich gases into space, along with carbon dioxide, cyanide, and even nickel vapor. The comet was alive with chemical activity. And then someone noticed where it was in the sky. Sagittarius, the exact same region of space the WOW signal came from in 1977. Now, as I like to say, here's where things get strange. The WOW signal was detected at 1420 megahertz, the hydrogen frequency. 3I Atlas is emitting massive amounts of hydrogen. Both originated from Sagittarius. But it's the timing that nobody's talking about. 48 years, not 50, not 47, exactly 48 years between the signal and the object's discovery. Astronomers can calculate backward to figure out where 3I Atlas was decades ago. And some researchers have quietly suggested that in 1977, when the WOW signal was detected, 3I Atlas might have been somewhere in the general vicinity of our solar neighborhood. Not close, maybe 600 astronomical units away, but it's about 20 times further than Pluto, but within the same cosmic region. Could a comet that far away generate a radio signal strong enough to light up the Big Ear telescope? According to conventional astrophysics, no, absolutely not. Unless it wasn't generating the signal, unless it was amplifying it. In 2024, a team of scientists published a paper proposing that the WOW signal could have been caused by something called hydrogen maser flare. Basically, under very specific conditions, clouds of hydrogen in space can act like a natural laser, amplifying radio waves at that exact 1420 megahertz frequency. It's rare, it's powerful, and it would explain why the signal was never detected again. Because maser flares are temporary bursts. And here's the question they didn't ask. What if the hydrogen cloud isn't the source? What if it's the medium? Think about it. If you wanted to send a signal across interstellar space, you'd need a transmitter, a powerful one. But you'd also need a way to amplify that signal to make sure it reaches as far as possible across the vast emptiness between stars. A massive cloud of hydrogen drifting through space would make an excellent natural amplifier, or an excellent artificial one disguised as natural. What if something or someone used 3I Atlas as a relay station in 1977? What if they beamed a signal through its hydrogen cloud, knowing it would amplify the transmission at exactly 1420 megahertz, the one frequency any civilization listening to the stars would immediately recognize? And what if, now that the object is passing through our solar system again, we're finally getting a chance to see the relay itself? It would explain why the WOW signal never repeated. The object moved on. The geometry changed. The relay went dormant. It would explain the 48-year gap. Not random, but the time it takes for this object to travel from where it was in 1977 to where it is now. It would explain why NASA is throwing unprecedented resources at this object, 7 spacecraft redirected: Hubble, Webb, Mars orbiters, deep space probes. They're not just studying a comet, they're investigating a potential artifact. But it would explain something else, something NASA hasn't been willing to discuss publicly. The object's composition is unusual. That's the word they keep using, unusual. Scientists still can't quite figure out what 3I Atlas is made of. Its chemical signature doesn't match solar system comets. It doesn't match the other interstellar visitors. The nickel vapor is particularly strange, metallic elements venting into space like industrial exhaust. And then there's the cyanide. Cyanide shows up in comets, yes, but it's also associated with complex organic chemistry, the kind that precedes biology, or the kind that results from it. In mid-July 2025, astrophysicist Avi Loeb, the same scientist who stirred controversy with theories about Oumuamua being an alien probe, published a paper suggesting 3I Atlas could be an extraterrestrial spacecraft. He pointed to several anomalous characteristics: its unusual size, its trajectory perfectly aligned with our solar system's orbital plane, and the fact that its composition didn't match what astronomers initially expected. The scientific community immediately pushed back, and I mean immediately. Within hours, other astronomers were calling it speculation and distraction. NASA even released a statement explicitly denying spacecraft rumors. That response is suspicious. NASA usually ignores fringe theories. They don't dignify them with official denials, unless they're worried about something. And here's what they didn't deny. In late October 2025, the Europa Clipper spacecraft, on its way to Jupiter's moon Europa, flew directly through 3I Atlas's ion tail. For nearly a week, Clipper was immersed in the charged particles streaming off this interstellar object. NASA's official explanation was that they wanted to use the spacecraft's instruments to analyze the chemical signature, magnetic field fluctuations, and any characteristic changes to the solar wind. Translation: they were looking for something specific. But here's the thing. Europa Clipper launched in October 2024. It was already en route when 3I Atlas was discovered in July 2025. The timing of that October encounter, just 3 months after discovery, is almost impossibly convenient. Unless NASA knew something was coming. Unless Clipper was equipped for exactly this kind of encounter. The data from the fly-through won't be fully analyzed until early 2026. That's what they're telling us. Months away. With modern computing power, with AI analysis tools, with the resources NASA has at its disposal, they need months? Or have they already found something and they're deciding how to tell us? On December 19th, 2025, 3I Atlas will make its closest approach to Earth, about 167 million miles away. Then it'll swing past Jupiter in March 2026 and leave our solar system forever, heading back into the interstellar void at over 130,000 miles per hour. We'll never see it again. Right now, dozens of telescopes are still tracking it. The James Webb Space Telescope has another observation session scheduled for December, after the comet passes perihelion. Europa Clipper's data is being analyzed behind closed doors. Mars orbiters are still sending back images. And somewhere, likely at NASA, possibly at the Department of Defense, scientists are looking at all of this data and asking themselves questions they can't answer publicly. Here's what we know for certain. The WOW signal was real. 72 seconds of the most powerful radio transmission ever detected from space, broadcasting at the hydrogen frequency from Sagittarius, never repeated. 3I Atlas is real. An interstellar object from Sagittarius, wrapped in hydrogen, following a trajectory that defies statistical probability, behaving in ways that challenge our understanding of what comets do. The 48-year gap is real. The timing is real. The unprecedented mobilization of NASA resources is real. The data blackout until 2026 is real. 3i Atlas is real. What we don't know is what Europa Clipper found when it flew through that tail in October. We don't know what Hubble and Webb detected in their spectroscopic analysis. We don't know why Avi Loeb felt compelled to publish his spacecraft hypothesis despite the career risk. We don't know why NASA felt the need to explicitly deny something they usually ignore. And we don't know what happens if all this isn't a comet at all. If 3i Atlas is a relay station, natural or artificial, then the wow signal wasn't random noise. It was a message. And we just caught the messenger. If the hydrogen cloud is a medium for amplification, then someone, somewhere, used it to reach out across 48 years and billions of miles to get our attention. And if NASA already knows this, if that's why 7 spacecraft were redirected, if that's why the data is being held until 2026, if that's why the scientific community shut down Avi Loeb so fast, then we're not waiting for answers. We're waiting for disclosure. December 19, 2025, the closest approach. March 2026, the final observations as it leaves our solar system forever. Early 2026, when they've promised to release the Europa Clipper data. The clock is counting down, and somewhere in the data streams, in the spectroscopic readings, in the magnetic field measurements, might be the answer to the question we've been seeking since 1977. Was the wow signal a message? Was 3i Atlas the messenger? And if it was, are they still listening for our reply? But that's just what I think. I want to know what you think. Drop a comment below, please. If you like what you see here, please like and subscribe. It's free for you and it means the world to us. And we honestly appreciate it greatly if you do. Be sure to check out all the links below for other cool stuff too. And remember, always keep an open mind, but not so open your brains fall out, because our reality is fraying. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.
Dark